Alright guys, so after yesterday where I showed you how to use a mason jar ring as an egg ring for cooking quail eggs, a lot of people asked about the tool that I use to crack the quail eggs. So we're going to do this video mainly to show that, but we might as well cook some breakfast as well. So I've got some leftover steak here, and I'm going to go ahead and get that in the pan, and I've got a little bit of bacon grease in a cast iron pan here. And I'm going to make something, you might like this on a taco, but since I had bread yesterday, no bread for me today. And I'm going to get that steak, it's cooked, so I'm just going to warm it up a little bit. And then I'm going to crack my quail's eggs. This little tool is invaluable. You cannot crack a quail egg on the side of a dish or a bowl or, you know, like you would a hen's egg. It's got a pretty thick membrane and a pretty small shell. This is a tool that's made in Japan. Again, I'll have a link where you can buy your own. They're about $8, $9. And all you do is go right into the top of the egg. And if you hold it level, even though it doesn't matter if I break a yolk, you won't break the yolk. So I've seen people use a knife, but if you turn it sideways and kind of cut through the shell with a knife, you can bump the yolk. Again, since I'm doing these for scrambled, it doesn't really matter. And I save the shells because we feed them back to the quail as a calcium supplement. But as you can see, once you have this tool, you can go through this really, really quick. And I find about 4 to 5 quail eggs are equivalent to me, anyway, for a single chicken egg or a single duck egg. And that's all I really need today. They are actually a lot healthier for you than chicken eggs. They have a lot more nutrient density. We'll talk about that in a later video. And quail are really, really productive. So I need a fork, because we're going to do this as a scrambled egg. And when I do scrambled eggs, I really like to scramble them before they go into the pan. A little fresh cracked black pepper, a little salt, S&P as it is, and let's move that around. I feel it's a little hotter than I need it. I like to cook my eggs a little lower temperature, take a little longer to get there with them. They come out nice and tender that way. In the eggs go. We'll just fold those, and then one of my favorite off-the-shelf salsas, Mateo's. Mateo's salsa. A couple scoops of this in there. I like to kind of drain the excess moisture off. And I like to cook it into the eggs a little bit better than I like to, you know, kind of put it on afterward. I think it spreads the flavor through the eggs a bit. And if you do it this way, it doesn't like turn your eggs all completely red, and some people don't like that appearance on a presentation if you're feeding it to somebody else. But it brings a nice little bite, some jalapenos, garlic, tomatoes in there. And then, really at this point, I can just kill the heat and just melt a little cheese over it. And I'll just wait till that cheese kind of melts, and that'll kind of hold the whole thing together. I'd probably get 2 servings out of that. Dorothy probably only eat about half of that. I'm going to eat the whole thing if she doesn't want any. And that'll be it. We'll just cover it up, let the cheese melt. And again, one of these little tools right here, if you're going to get into the world of quail eggs, these guys are invaluable. I've tried a couple different models. I found one that's actually made in Japan. It's the other one I couldn't find this morning. It's probably in the drawer deep. But that's the one I actually think it's a little bit more quality than this one. I'll put a link to that in the video notes. Check back with us tomorrow. We'll have more for you.